Welcome back to the Bruce Poinsette Show. We're recording this on NBA Draft Day.
Whoop, whoop.
Yes, sir. And for those who don't know, Blazers made a move last night, basically trading a future first-round pick for Jeremy Grant, who was actually born in Portland. And fun fact, actually, went to preschool with his brother back at Touchstone.
You went to preschool with his brother?
Yeah. So I don't know if it's older or younger, but back at the time, Harvey Grant was, Horace Grant's brother, was playing with the Blazers. So at, the preschool I was at, like his son was in there very briefly, and then not to get into stories, but basically they pushed him out, and you saw, wow, even I guess being a Blazers kid does not get you much in this white system.
Yes.
There's a lot behind that, but we're gonna stick to happy things today.
Yes.
So, it's a good time. The Blazers have a new GM, Joe Cronin.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, who just made this move, and if you go on Blazer Twitter, you see everyone's talking about bring me back to the Crone Zone tonight. So, good times. Yeah, Ado, do you spend much time on Blazer Twitter out of curiosity?
I just spend a lot of time on general NBA Twitter, but I'm curious because Blazer Twitter is like, I've heard stories. I've heard stories of how wild it can get there. So I'm curious what you're seeing currently on Blazer Twitter.
Yeah, it's it's all the things one both likes and hates about Twitter at times.
Makes sense.
But one thing I can't help but notice is that I feel like a lot of Blazer fans are aspiring to be like Knicks fans.
Oh, absolutely.
And I have a theory why. Partially because just sports media is dominated by disgruntled Knicks fans.
True.
So, maybe chief among them, Stephen A. Smith, who also is arguably the loudest among them.
Yeah.
Literally and figuratively. And you see disgruntled, screaming Knicks fans on TV all day. There's something, I guess, the appeal to it. Like, you also see someone like, Jesus and Miro, for example, where there's that aspiration, like, at the beginning of the year, without fail, Knicks fans, for some reason, they think they're going to win it all or go to the playoffs.
Every year.
Do anything, important. And within, like, about a month, maybe. I mean, do you remember this past season? Like that first month, everyone's like, bing bong, bing bong.
That is so funny to me because that is actually from a YouTube channel that I follow, Side Talk NYC. It's like a series where they just kind of go around the streets of New York and talk to random people. And there was a hot second there where like there was many episodes where they thought that the Knicks were going to do it all. And no, they did not.
Oh, man. It ended poorly and so quickly.
So poorly. I'm curious because, and obviously I want to go back to the Blazers, but with the Knicks, how do they continue to get like no good draft picks? Or like they tend to draft very non-notable players?
I'm glad you asked this. And first off, shout out to, RJ Barrett is balling. I'll give him credit there. But I feel like this is a great segue into talking about how we vastly overvalue billionaires. And I feel like James Dolan is the owner of the Knicks, for those who don't know, is like, it's a great metaphor for that because, yeah, just poor management on a team level.
Yeah.
Dealing with, he threw out, Knicks legend and all back alley team Hall of Famer Charles Oakley.
Yeah.
And like banned him from Madison Square Garden. Like just he's a terrible example of, yeah. Why do we value this? Like he spends more time allegedly with his, like bar band than making good basketball moves. Just awful.
Deeply disappointing.
Yeah. So, again, maybe we give too much credence to billionaires and just a thought. But anyways, back to the Blazers.
Theme of the show.
So when I talk about Blazers fans being Knicks fans, like on one hand, like especially this year because the Blazers were obviously tanking and a lot of people didn't seem to catch on to that, even though, I don't know, it's like, oh, Josh Hart, has a hangnail. We're going to, bench him for the rest of the season. Like everyone's like, no, what are the Blazers going to do? Or, Dame had an ab injury, but he also probably could have played like the last 2 months.
Yeah.
He didn't. There's a thing they do there.
The tank was very clear.
I will say with like Blazer fans specifically, again, trying to be Knicks fans is
the classic.
There are the bad ways, such as during the tank and all this despair, and every time a trade happens, like when we trade away CJ, and I just want to be clear to everyone watching, like I love CJ McCollum.
CJ love.
Between his game and the fact that he was like super passionate about journalism and just in like some of like the youth work I do, like we haven't personally crossed paths, but like he's done interviews with for the students I work with at Madison at the time, now McDaniels, did interviews with this black student journalism program I worked with U of O. And then also I did some stuff with the Boys and Girls Club where he has, a room, the CJ McCollum reading room or whatever it's named after.
Very
like,
impressive.
So it's like I could not escape the influence of CJ, and it's kind of cool. He's also, now owns one of the wineries out here. But I digress. Is everyone's despair. It's like, oh my goodness, we traded away CJ for nothing, and it's like, okay, no. One, Josh Hart can ball.
Is not nothing.
Two, we got a trade exception that we turned into Jeremy Grant, which means we traded CJ for Josh Hart and Jeremy Grant. I think the value is decent there.
Yeah.
But, again, Portland fans being like Knicks fans were despairing at the time, not looking, with the foresight. But on the flip side, the thing I love about Portland fans also trying to aspire to be Knicks fans is that after every like playoff series, you see like when the Nets lose, immediately you see Photoshop, these Photoshop pics of Kevin Durant and Blazers jerseys. When the Sixers lost, sorry, Ambush, Photoshop jerseys of Embiid in Blazer jerseys. Like manifestation season is in full effect. None of it is realistic. Who's coming to Portland? I don't know. I've heard rumors that, Kevin Durant, all he loves to do is play basketball, be on Twitter and smoke weed. And I'm like, I know a place.
Yep.
I know a place that is not run like a dumpster fire like the Nets, where you could do that. You could have defense around you. You could have the best clutch player in the league.
Yes.
But again, if I have to be realistic, I suppose we'll tamp it down.
Yeah.
That said, in this new era, the Crone Zone, as they're apparently calling it, I have notes on that, but we'll digress. Yeah, I gotta say, like it is great. I would love for the Blazers to be competitive again. But, having, again, the post, I think my favorite one was just seeing people Photoshop, or no, not the Photoshop. It's the messaging behind it. Giannis needs to do what's best for him and his family and come to Portland. Just like, yes. Let's keep that energy.
Yes, please.
KD needs to do what's best for him. Embiid needs to do what's best for him. You know what, Luka, I know you just got to the Western Conference Finals and, Dallas is going to build a monument to you, but come to Portland. Do what's best for you and your family.
I'm curious if you could dream up the ultimate Blazer trade, or we sign someone from free agency, who would you like to join the team?
See, I got this dream. Again, I just said I was going to reel it back in. But nah.
Let's go crazy.
Like we got the 7th pick.
Yes.
We've got a huge asset in Ant Simons, who I think he could be an East All-Star.
I agree.
And I know an East team right now that is, let's say they're having struggles with their current point guard, a certain Kyrie Irving.
Oof.
Maybe they could just decide to, rebuild and try to do something organically, because they did this whole thing where they got KD, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving together, and then it blew up spectacularly.
It
so
did.
why not just try again? Like, I don't know, Ant. Sorry, Ant, if I ever run into you.
We love you,
if
but
you ever see this segment.
yes.
But Ant, 7th pick, other assets.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I've talked with people about this and they're like, Bruce, that's not realistic. But have you watched Brooklyn? Like, not the team play basketball, like their front office. Have you watched how they operated?
They operate strange.
That's a very nice way of saying poorly.
Yes.
Like, I'm just saying anything is possible. And again, KD needs to do what's best for him and his family.
Yep.
Fix
Absolutely.
the legacy. We made a mistake. We did. We drafted Odin over you. We're
Yes.
sorry. We're sorry. But we can make everything right. We can fix your legacy, because everyone keeps saying those Warriors championships aren't real.
Yeah.
Again, if this ever happens and KD and I come across paths, I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. If you come to Portland, I will recant everything.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, do what's best for you.
Your
Do
family.
what's right for you. Exactly.
Take
Your
care
family.
of the fam. We know you like weed. We have a plentiful amount of that.
You're into the business side. There's things around here. Come do stuff with Intel. Come kick it with Will.i.am in his like quarterly meetings with Intel staff. Make the money. There are opportunities out here, and it's quiet. The
Yes.
New York media is terrible.
Uh-huh.
The Portland media is terrible, but it's not as big.
Exactly.
Do what's best for you and your family, KD.
For you and the fam, KD.
And meanwhile, the draft is tonight, and more than likely we'll just pick someone at 7th, and nothing will happen. But KD,
We don't
if
know.
you're listening,
If you're listening, come to Portland, please.
do what's best for you and your family.